Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the award-winning Fearless Tarot, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation. And I'm excited to announce this week that I'm also the author of Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards in Matters of the Heart, which is going to be out later this year, at the end of the year. I'm super excited about it, and it is going to be a guidebook for relationship readings, which a lot of us get confronted with as readers. So it is time for this week's Oracle Reveal. Earlier today on Instagram, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals, and I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal's getting caught in your head, because that animal has your message. And the animals were the badger, the chameleon, and the moose. Kind of an odd assortment this week. So if you are just joining me right now, ask yourself which animal's getting caught in your head, because that animal is going to have your message for you. For those of you who picked the barging badger, the card says determination, focus, and advancement. And barging badger is all about foraging ahead and aggressively completing something, finishing the job, or also pushing yourself towards some sort of healing. Badger burrows under the ground where the roots are, and it knows where all the healing roots are. So this can sometimes be a card or an animal that you'd be attracted to if you're working on a cure for something or a treatment for something. So this is a great time to really get more information and to push forward with a plan to bring some sort of healing or balance. First card for Badger is where it's best to place your focus this next week. And we got the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups for me is a card of hopes and fears. And I'll explain. There's this fog that's covering the path in front of this figure. He's almost involved in a dream. And out of the fog are the 7 cups that are appearing. And out of the 7 cups are these different objects. Some of them are wonderful, like jewels and crowns. Others are kind of scary, like dragons and snakes. And what that tells us is that sometimes when we can't see the path in front of us clearly, our imagination kicks in and we start to project our hopes and our fears on the path. And pretty soon we're thinking, oh, I bet it's going to be wonderful. I can't see what's going to happen, but it's probably going to be great because everything works out and everything's perfect and light and love and all that sort of thing. Or you might conversely say, I can't see what's happening. I bet it's going to be awful. We're doomed. Nothing's going to work here. And the 7 of Cups is a card that sometimes will come up to say that you need to have a reality check right now, that you want to get out of your imagination and back into a grounded sense of reality. And this card will ask you to question things that are an illusion, or to ask yourself if this is just a thought or a feeling that's fleeting this week, or if it's actually something that's more substantive. So with 7 of Cups, be a little bit more skeptical. The path ahead for you right now might feel a little foggy, but that doesn't mean you have to be overly optimistic or overly fatalistic when dealing with it. The advice from your inner wisdom is actually the Ace of Cups for Badger. And the Ace of Cups, the meaning of the card is just love. The Ace of Cups tells you, let love be the answer. If you don't know what to do, turn to love. Allow your heart to make the right choice. Sometimes love is talked about and sang about, and it's all around us, supposedly, and yet it can be so hard to perceive. But sometimes if we can just pivot our consciousness toward that higher, elevated sense of self, represented by the dove that's in communion with the chalice below, suddenly the world looks a lot different. So when you view the world through the pane of glass of love, it will start to take on some more magic, and it will also show a way forward where one wasn't available before. And the mythic archetype that's going to help you this next week if you pick Badger is Dionysus. He's the god of wine. He's also the god of ecstasy, and he's the god of freedom. And so this could be a time when you're freeing yourself from your hopes, your fears, a worry spiral by turning to love and really just being in that transcendent, joyous place. Dionysus is a figure of enlightenment, and so he could just indicate that this is going to be a time where you want to detach from the mundane and you want to partake in some of the magic. That is our first animal. The second animal is the calm chameleon, and his card says versatility, camouflage, and agility. And chameleon, it does camouflage itself to match its environment. I love chameleons. For me, chameleon could indicate that you're meeting people where they're at. Sometimes when we're talking to people, it's important to not just be in our position or our way of speaking, but sometimes it's to meet people where they're at, to adapt to the energy they're bringing. And by doing that, you not only gain some trust with them, but you might also see a different perspective that you didn't before, and also show some sort of compassion there. So meet people where they're at if you're attracted to Chameleon this next week. First card is where it's best to place your focus this next week. And there we got another ace for Chameleon. It's the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles always indicates a new opportunity is coming your way. This is a wonderful card financially speaking. So it could just indicate that there's a new opportunity you want to seize upon, or there's a new long-term plan that you want to implement that's going to lead towards your future security. So you do want to go forward with that. The second card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you pick the Chameleon, and there's another ace. Wow. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is indicating that this energy, this new beginning, this charged up energy, it's like a magic spell. A magic wand is being handed to you to change your reality. You got a pair of aces walking into this week. So I really feel for Chameleon that there's something really serendipitous happening here. However, there is a sense of urgency with the Ace of Wands. Like all magic wands in the fairy tale, for example, the fairy tale of Cinderella, where the fairy godmother uses her wand to change the pumpkin into a carriage, there's a time limit. And Cinderella's got to make everything happen by midnight, or everything reverts back to its old state. So whatever is inspiring you, Chameleon, act on it this next week. There's something really magical happening here. And then finally, the mythic archetype that's going to help you is Hephaestus, the god of the forge. He's also the god of hard work. So this is probably telling me there's some professional opportunities here that you really want to seize upon. Something very divinely serendipitous is happening, and you want to take advantage of it. And then finally, we have the majestic moose, and his card says bravery, grit, and durability. And moose is majestic. They're very noble looking animals. And a lot of times the medicine that they carry is one of, how do you carry yourself in the world? Are you showing up as dignified? Are you taking your space and really showing that you have power over it? Or are you shrinking and, kind of cowering in the corner? Moose might be telling you that it's time to work on your self-esteem, but it's also time to work on how you're showing up in the world and to really, master the art of your presence. First card for Moose is where it's best to place your focus. We actually got the Devil card. Whenever the Devil card comes up for me, I usually see him right before someone's about to make a breakthrough. Everyone's got a devil on their shoulder, and everyone's got an angel on their shoulder. Everyone's got the light and love voice, and everyone's got that other voice that's like, you can't do it, you're going to fail. And a lot of times the devil will appear right before you're about to cross an important threshold. That's when that shadowy voice always kicks in like clockwork, and it says, maybe you should be afraid, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you should stay scared and stuck. And the figures on the throne of the devil, they're scared and stuck. They're wearing these chains, and they feel like they don't have a choice. But look at their chains. They're very loose, and they can slip out of them whenever they want to. So a lot of times the devil is our own shadow that we need to stand up to and free ourselves from and unhook ourselves from periodically. And it's time to cross that threshold anyway. Advice from your inner wisdom, if you pick the moose, is the Five of Swords. This is a card of pacing yourself, not taking on too much. It might also be a time with the Devil card where you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe something difficult's happening. And it's important to know that this too shall pass. This is going to change. And maybe it's going to change by you handling it bit by bit and not trying to do the whole thing all at once. So pace yourself, be kind to yourself, and manage your energy. Really don't let your self-esteem get undermined by whatever challenge you're confronting. And the mythic archetype that will help you with that, there she is, gentle Hestia. She's the goddess of the hearth and the home. She's indicating that you always have a home, and it could be your actual literal home, or it could be the place within that's warm. But it's important that you're connecting with your home base. You're also needing to feel protected by your tribe, by the people that care about you. And this might be a time to seek out support from family, loved ones, chosen family, or even your ancestors. And that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always check me out at elliotoracle.com. Otherwise, I hope you all have a very happy week, and I will see you again next time as usual.